Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Arden of Faversham, and today we get to hear from Arden in Act 3, Scene 3. Now, a couple scenes ago when we last saw Arden, he was still very upset about the fact that his wife is probably sleeping with somebody else, Mosby. But he and Franklin decided that they would just sort of lock up the house and go to bed, and Michael had promised Will and Shakebag and Green that he was going to leave the door unlocked so that they would be able to sneak in and kill him. So Michael was feeling a little bit bad about that and had a bit of a freak out that involved some yelling, at which point Arden and Franklin came back in and they're like, okay, there's nothing here. You woke us up for nothing. Let's just check the doors one more time. Oh my goodness, this door wasn't locked. Let's lock it. And then they go to bed. So in Act 3, Scene 2, we had Will and Shakebag show up to do the murder, and Green originally came in with them, and Green's like, all right, you do this, and then you come find me and let me know that it's done. And they go in, and they discover that the door is locked, and they're very angry with Michael for having this happen. They swear, they're going to go find Green, and then they're going to get their revenge, because Michael swore he was going to leave the door unlocked, and he didn't do it. And that was Act 3, Scene 2. Act 3, Scene 3, we start off with, we're in Arden's house again, and we have Arden and Franklin and Michael come in, and Arden kicks off the scene by saying, Sirrah, get you back to Billingsgate and learn what time the tide will serve our turn. Come to us in Paul's. First, go make the bed, and afterwards, go hearken for the flood. And then Michael leaves, so now it's just Arden and Franklin. Come, Master Franklin, you shall go with me. This night I dreamt that, being in a park, a toil was pitched to overthrow the deer, and I, upon a little rising hill, stood whilstly watching for the herd's approach. Even there, methoughts, a gentle slumber took me, and summoned all my parts to sweet repose. But in the pleasure of this golden rest, an ill-thewed foster had removed the toil, and rounded me with that beguiling home, which late, methought, was pitched to cast the deer. With that he blew an evil-sounding horn, and at the noise another herdman came, with falchion drawn, and bent it at my breast, crying aloud, Thou art the game we seek. With this I woke, and trembled every joint, like one obscured in a little bush that sees a lion foraging about. And when the dreadful forest king is gone, he pries about with timorous suspect through the thorny casements of the brake, and will not think his person dangerless, but quakes and shivers, though the cause be gone. So trust me, Franklin, when I did awake, I stood in doubt whether I waked or no. Such great impression took this fond surprise. God grant this vision bedeem me any good. So what he's describing here is a dream that he had the night before. First he tells Michael, go check the tides to see when we can sail. He's like, wait, make the bed, then go check the tides. And then when Michael leaves, he turns to Franklin. He's like, I had a terrible dream last night that I was out hunting deer, but then it turns out that the other hunters were hunting me instead of hunting the deer, and I woke up and I was really shaken, and I couldn't stop trembling. It was really unsettling, this dream that I had. And Franklin's like, oh, it's no big deal. Michael scared you last night with his thing saying that murderers were coming to the house, so that was probably just in your mind. And Arden's like, no, but some of my dreams do tend to come true. And Franklin is like, yeah, but it's 1 out of 20, maybe? That's probably just chance and the way that life goes. Everything will be fine. Nobody's coming to hunt you like a deer. And so he talks Arden back to a sense of safety and security and calmness, and then they decide that it's time to go and find out when they will be able to sail back home. And that's the end of Act 3, Scene 3. So one thing that is a little bit interesting about it, he has this dream, and this is stuff that I hadn't mentioned in yesterday's monologue because it wasn't part of the monologue. But as Will and Shakebag are standing outside of Arden's house waiting to go in and kill him, they do make a couple of references to hunting deer or killing deer, tracking down deer. They equate Arden with a deer. So then Arden having this dream that he's being hunted like a deer, foreshadowing. But of course, we as the audience know that they want to kill him, so maybe not foreshadowing, but a nice, interesting little tie-in. So anyway, we've now had a third failed attempt on Arden's life. We've got a couple of very angry murderers and a little bit of an oblivious target for murder, but he might be starting to get some inkling that maybe something's not totally right with what's going on. But anyway, we've still got quite a ways to go in this play. We got to find out if Arden survives this, or if Will and Shakebag, does something happen to them. Got to figure all this out. So come on back tomorrow for more. I'll see you then. Mwah.